odds. But I never stopped to think about the life that I had lived prior to that. And I never ever thought about the reason why I was so driven. The deep-seated reason why I was driven. We don't ever think that we're going to write down on our resume, stripper, bank robber, divorced single mother, homeless teen. And setting up a space and understanding how important it is to connect with every single person that I'm in front of, that I'm sharing with. I don't feel like I'm here talking to you. I feel like I'm sharing with you, and that is my intention, is to share my life and a part of who I am with you with one hope, and that hope is to inspire thought, inspire you in some way to evolve towards living a more resilient life by the time you leave here today. The second thing I'd like you to write down is one area in your life that you are stuck. One area in your life that you feel like you can be more resilient. Give you 21 ways that you can live a more resilient life. But I first want to go back to the beginning. We can't get anywhere without going back to the beginning sometimes, and I know people say a lot of times, never look back. I think that is a bunch of bull. The only way that we can learn and grow and evolve and become resilient is to do what? To look back. To go back and visit the places where we have come from. And it's really, really important to do that. If I never went back and looked at the places that I had come from, I would never be in a place today to be able to talk to you about those things from a place that isn't filled with shame and pain. What has come from that pain, what has come from that day, has been an absolute gift. I mean, and I thought being a dental assistant was going to be great. I was going to have this great career. But then the drill noise happened 8 hours a day. Oh my gosh, that was my first introduction to, Michelle, you are noise sensitive. So I thrived at this job, and I moved laterally within the company, and eventually I moved up within the company. 13 years later, I became the youngest assistant vice president for a very large bank. And pretty soon I was running an entire region and landed at Bank of America working as a bank manager and assistant vice president for Bank of America. During all of this time, I never once thought about the pain of my past. I treated it like it was happened to somebody else. I was so detached from my past that it didn't even feel like it happened to me. 3 masked gunmen broke the door to my house down and kidnapped my daughter and myself and strapped us with bombs and threatened to murder us if I didn't rob the bank for them. And every single pain of my past, every moment of my past, every mistake I ever made, and I knew in that moment that if I lived and we survived this event, the only way I was going to live the rest of my life was to make peace with the life I had already lived, that I'd been ignoring, that I'd been stuffing. These 3 masked gunmen coming at me with the violence and the terror brought my dad's violence and terror back that I never dealt with. My being a mother and being treated that way in front of my daughter brought my mother's pain right to me, what she suffered in front of her children that I never dealt with. I wasn't living a resilient life, and I wasn't living an authentic life. But in order for me to be 100% authentically me and live the most resilient, wonderful life filled with forgiveness and joy and passion, I had to stop denying parts of me. And guess what? Parts of me weren't so pretty. They weren't perfect. They didn't fit in a perfect little corporate box at the bank. In order to live a resilient life, I had to get real with myself. And that was hard. You just heard what I've been through. I didn't want to look in the mirror and admit all those things, but it was time. And I couldn't just do it for me. I had to do it for my daughter. I still ask the question every day, you guys, who am I? What is my purpose?